Sawadee Cop. All right, so we left off with removing yourself as an information bottleneck, empower others, which is getting out of the way of problems, especially other people's. Cultivating selective ignorance. There are many things of which a wise man might wish to be ignorant. You might wish to be ignorant of a lot of crap that would fill your head with crap. Ralph Waldo Emerson. From this point forward, I'm going to propose that you develop an uncanny ability to be selectively ignorant. Ignorance may be bliss, but it is also practical. It's imperative that you learn to ignore or redirect all information and interruptions that are irrelevant, unimportant, or unactionable. That's a good one. Most people don't even. If you can't do anything about it, say la, fucking be. Most are all three: irrelevant, unimportant, and unactionable. Yeah. The first step is to develop and maintain a low information diet. Just as modern man consumes both too many calories and calories of no nutritional value, information workers eat... What? Oh, hello. How are you? Sawadee Cop. There's that little Thai lady in the red thing again. Anyway, yeah, eating data. Let's talk about eating data instead of eating calories. I think I eat both. Too many calories, and no nutritional value. Information workers eat data both in excess and from the wrong sources. There you go. I was talking about social media the other day. Lifestyle design is based on massive action, output. Increased output necessitates decreased input. Garbage in, garbage out, right? Most information is time-consuming, negative, irrelevant to your goals, and outside of your influence. I challenge you to look at whatever you read or watch today and tell me it wasn't at least two of those four. Time-consuming, negative, irrelevant to your goals, which is huge, and outside of your influence. You can't do a damn thing about it. Hey, fucking men, brother. That's, yeah. Well, he's being brutally honest, and I for one love it. I'm not afraid to hear the truth. I read the front page headlines through the newspaper machines as I walk to lunch each day, and nothing more. In 5 years, I haven't had a single problem due to this selective ignorance. Yeah. Especially because news isn't news anymore. It's slant, it's tilt, it's opinion, it's editorial, right? Everybody has a point of view they're trying to shove down your throat rather than just give you information. And even if they were just giving you information, it'd be too much information about things that don't really matter to you and your goals. So he's making a lot of sense to me. It gives you ... something new to ask the rest of the population in lieu of small talk. Tell me what's new in the world. And if it's that important, you'll hear people talking about it. Using my crib notes approach to world affairs, like Cliff Notes, just get the highlights. Smart. I also retain more than someone who loses the forest for the trees in a sea of extraneous details. God damn, this is good stuff. I get excited reading shit like that. I don't know about you, but this pumps me up. From an actionable information standpoint, I consume a maximum of 1/3 of one industry magazine, Response magazine. Never heard of it, but I'm sure it's germane to his industry. And one business magazine, Inc., per month. So consume a maximum of 1/3 of one magazine and one business magazine per month for a grand total of 4 hours. So 4 hours a month he spends reading stuff that's pertaining to his chosen field. That's it for results-oriented reading. I read an hour of fiction. There I am. I'm doing the speed reading thing again. The next word's prior. So fiction, prior. Sorry. You gotta slow down, take a breath. I read at least an hour of fiction prior to bed for relaxation. How on earth do I act responsibly? Let me give an example of how I and other new rich both consider and obtain information. I voted in the last presidential election despite having been in Berlin. I made my decision in a matter of hours. First, I sent emails to educated friends in the U.S. who share my values, asked them who they were voting for and why. Second, I judge people based on actions and not words. Thus, I asked friends in Berlin who had more perspective outside of the U.S. media propaganda, there you go, how they judged the candidates based on their historical behavior. Last, I watched the presidential debates. That was it. I let other dependable people synthesize hundreds of hours and thousands of pages of media for me. It was like having dozens of personal information assistants, and I didn't have to pay them a single cent. It's awesome. That's a simple example, you say, but what if you need to learn to do something your friends haven't done? Like, say, sell a book to the world's largest publisher as a first-time author. Funny you should ask. There are two approaches I used. I picked one book out of dozens based on reader reviews and the fact that the authors had actually done what I wanted to do. If the task is how-to in nature, I only read accounts that are how I did it and autobiographical. No speculators or wannabes are worth the time. We spent a lot of time last year during reading the Positive Action Plan talking about don't seek advice from those who are not actually doing it. So he just reinforced that in a major way. That's huge. No spectators or wannabes are worth the time. Amen. 2, using the book to generate intelligent and specific questions, I contacted 10 of the top authors and agents in the world via email and phone with a response rate of 80%. So he's writing good emails because he's getting responses. He catches people's eye. He's writing good titles, and he's putting the gist of what he's trying to say into the first paragraph, I guarantee you. He'll probably break that down somewhere in this book, but that must be what he's doing. He's writing excellent emails to get an 80% open rate and response rate. I only read the sections of the book that were relevant to immediate next steps, which took less than 2 hours. To develop a template email and call script took approximately 4 hours. There you go. He actually made a template email up. He put a lot of thought into what he was going to write those people. He just didn't fire an email off the cuff or off the hip, shoot from the hip. Smart guy. Very, very smart guy. You see now why I really appreciate him writing this book, because I want to know how he thinks, because it's different from me and it's different from you. This personal contact approach is not only more effective and more efficient than the all-you-can-eat info buffets. There you go, the fucking golden corral of information, right? The internet is the fucking golden corral. It's some really good shit like roast beef and shrimp, and it's some crap that comes straight out of a number 10 can, which is those big, if you ever worked in the industry, a number 10 can is a big gallon can of green beans. You know, it's like the worst fucking food in the world. You know, just mass-produced shit with no flavor. And, you know, the restaurant industry, Golden Corral specifically, has lots of that. A lot of the stuff you see in those trays, those they call hotel trays, the big metal pans that they lay out, are just filled in the back out of number 10 cans. They literally open a giant can and dump the shit out into a tray and put it out there for you under the heat lamps. But they, once again, they also have roast beef and shrimp. So... right? The internet has good information and it has shit information. You know, you take the good with the bad, but the point is we consume too much of the shit. We waste our time wading through the shit, right? This personal all-you-can-eat information buffet. I love that line. Sorry about stopping there, but it's like fucking... bing, 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 right? It also provided me with the major league alliances and mentors necessary to sell this book. So he wound up networking through asking questions. Imagine that. Who would have thought? Rediscover the power of the forgotten skill called talking. It works. Yeah, just getting into conversation, developing relationships with people, doing what you want to do. Huge. Yellowbird is fired back up. They've already had their first meetup. So, or two maybe, I'm thinking. But yeah, so that thing is going again. If you are in Jacksonville, Florida, get to the fucking Yellowbird. and do exactly what he talks about here. Ask people intelligent questions, which will forge relationships, which will help you immensely on the way to your goals. You'll meet people there that will definitely help you with your goals if your goals are real estate related. Once again, less is more. That's it. Good ending point. He goes into speed reading next, and you can combine words like I was doing before, how to read 200% faster in 10 minutes. We'll save that for tomorrow. I'm sure we're at the 10-minute mark. Yeah, 10:22. So that's it for today. Man, this shit goes by quick. Lots of good nuggets today. Lots of good nuggets today. So I hope you all are writing this shit down, memorizing it, listening to it again, rewinding it back. Get the book like my boy Jeffrey did, who had the apparel shop. He's actually reading the book. That's probably the smartest thing to do. I encouraged people to do that last year with the other book, Positive Action Plan. Get the book, find it, get it from a bookseller, and read it yourself and reread it, and underline passages that are meaningful to you. Highlight it. Go ahead. It's not destroying the book. It's your book. You bought it to learn, so use it as a learning tool. But great stuff. Going over Buddy's house today that I shot the video of. If you look back on the channel, you'll see huge pool home in Doi-Phuket for $17,000, which is $520 a month. That's the house I'm going. That guy's moved in, Sean, and I'm taking my girl, and we're gonna head over there and have some nachos and shit, snacks, and chill by the pool. So that's the plan for today. Talk to you all later.